Okay. Coffee.
Of course.
So I'm a little bit. Bang! I am a little bit over caffeinated because we had a late game of Call of Cthulhu last night. Actually, I should probably drink some water first. Drink some water. Water's pretty good too.
Yeah.
It's not caffeinated, but it's pretty good. Okay, enough fooling around. Ready?
That's gonna be the pupil for this one, eh?
What?
That. Sick out! Sick higher!
No, it's not.
You sure?
Okay.
Have a wee questions. Madara Vodka.
Oh, here comes all the texts. Oh, yeah, alright, okay. Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to another episode of The Bored State. It is Sunday, April 19th, 7:54 in the morning, and it is very, very, very early. I am Jeffrey Vieira, aka Mr. V, and I am joined with...
Jack.
That was a really cool thing you just did with that. It was kind of like the Jawas, right? There we go.
I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. Come on.
I used to be one. Okay, and we are a board gaming, or we are a gaming news show where we try to highlight the unsung indie articles from the previous week. We select 10 from a long list of possible articles, and a new addition is we include at minimum one question from one of you, the listeners. You can always email us at theboardstate@gmail.com, and that again that is theboardstate@gmail.com. All right, first article. This one is picked by my comrade. I said comrade, didn't I? I just said comrade. By my friend. See? By my comrade, Jacques. And this is by The Verge, and it is a public service announcement. Games Done Quick speedrunning marathon for COVID-19 relief is happened rather, this weekend. Your thoughts on this, Jack?
So basically, if you haven't heard of Games Done Quick, they're an organization made up of many different gamers that focus on speedrunning games to host annual charities. Due to this whole pandemic bullshit, but even though all of this craziness is happening, gamers are still gamers, and they're gonna try and support each other and support everyone they care about them. This is another way the gaming community is trying to help out by just donating a lot of funds into the Red Cross or other charity organizations that is on the front lines on this pandemic.
Yes.
So they don't only focus on the Red Cross, but instead direct relief. So the money was also being gave out to the first responders or stuff like that have happened either in hot zones or suffer pay cuts due to absurd reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, that's it. I don't know exactly what games they were speedrunning other than a couple of the roguelites games where you die instantly if you're not doing it correctly.
Well, they got the schedule is on that site, but I think our listeners are gonna be hearing this post event, So
Yeah, yeah.
hopefully they did join. But really, I appreciate you finding this article because what we really want to do is broadcast
Seven.
what GDQ does. Right, they're an amazing organization. They do some really cool things. Highly talented gamers,
And
and
they will also give you like details, like analytics too, so that way you could do it at home if you choose to do so.
yes, if you also have the skill set. So these guys, to just to add on what Jack was saying here, and I mentioned gamers with skill, and hopefully, if you're listening to this, you understand what that means. Beyond athleticism, gaming with esports and these games done quick type of events, you really get to see what mastery looks like at something. Now, some of these guys on Games Done Quick, they dedicate their lives to, say, speed running Dark Souls, right, which is a very difficult game. And they'll find these exploits and things. And it could be something as simple as going down a specific stair and then turning around quickly with the controller and hitting a combination of keys in perfect sequence to trigger the death camera so that your character can then walk above the level and shaves off, I don't know, 30 seconds or sometimes a minute. To even when they're running through a level, where to turn because they know that cumulatively, they're saving 6 seconds from this little fraction of a thing that they're doing, right? I mean, it's just
Yeah.
unbelievable, and they only get to this level by playing the game hundreds, if not thousands of times over and over and over, and then also linking up with other community members who are doing the same thing and trading secrets. So I applaud them for their efforts. I applaud them for this amazing skill set that they have, right?
Right.
And no, go ahead.
And it's like no other sporting event is going to happen, lads. Like soccer or football, whatever you may want to call it, has been cancelled. The Olympics has been cancelled.
That's a really good
Football,
point.
it has been cancelled. The only sport that is officially recognized by the ESPN or sporting organizations is this one,
Jack,
on.
you're right, man.
So
Wow.
if you feel like, oh, you can't find any sporting gigs or stuff like that, watch one esports tournament. You'll get the exact same excitement like how you get from a football game, but either American or European. And I know
Wow.
because I love to watch football games,
Mm-hmm.
both American and European. And that same passion and kill is still seen it in esports or in speedrunning.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That was really insightful. Thank you. I didn't really think about that. That's very cool. All right. So
Well,
that is
or
the
sports, that's why.
that is theverge.com. Games Done Quick speedrunning marathon for COVID-19 relief is or did happen this weekend. Check it out. They have a YouTube channel with all their games on there. We're talking old retro games and then new games. They'll do it fantastic. Check it out.
That was a good
Next,
article from The Verge.
yeah. Next article, and this is another one from Jack, and this is fans honor Team Fortress and Beyond voice actor after death from COVID-19. And this is an article by win.gg, and it's about Ray May, this very famous voice actor that died part of this pandemic. And this was just made, I was just made aware, so it's just a little bit of insight before the show started. Me and Jack were having a pre-show conversation, and he drew to my attention because I remember Team Fortress, but I mean it's been a bazillion years since I played Team Fortress. But Rick was a professional voice actor, and he was the voice of Peppy Hare in Star Fox 64, which is something that I'm very familiar with. So, he will be definitely missed. Your thoughts on this?
So we on this podcast we would like to showcase change in a positive light, but this really was like a showcasing of gamers like the prior article, how probably are one of the most honorable communities like to date,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of like when it's a movie actress die or actor dies, there are people who cry, but not really much like care for them.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody like even if like it's a game developer or even a voice actor dies, they are more appreciated than they are in life.
Yeah.
And it's probably one thing that like even in North culture like we saw with Stan Lee, it's like one of the things that will always be a attitude, but I say gamers have it better than most because we could reenact all of their most memorable like things and continue to like remember the memories per se.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and to add to that, Rick isn't the only one who's been affected by this, right? There's a lot
yes,
of people in the
yes.
industry that's been taken out from this COVID-19 virus. So,
So,
yeah, thank you for mentioning something like this and to draw attention, put the spotlight on how real this is. There's a
uh,
lot of conspiracy theorists that.
no, and I mean, it's okay to have theories about like this virus and stuff like that, but
Hmm.
at the end of the day, we're gonna lose people. Like, and these people are not really like the new guys, like the indie developers or the guys who taking up the lead in AAA gaming. These are the guys who are pillars. So just because they ain't ball gaming, just imagine this exact same like Mark was what the guy who made Magic the Gathering,
Richard Garfield.
Richard Garfield. Why did I say Mark
Well,
Wars?
there's Mr. Rosewater
Yeah,
as well, right?
but imagine them dying to this virus. That is the similar scale to what the video gaming side is feeling right now. At
Yeah, and
least the amount of losses that they're taking. Because I saw
yes,
a couple more articles about the number of game developers that relate to the video game industry, and it's like, holy crud.
now by pointing out, quote unquote famous people, we're not trivializing
No, no,
the
no.
the loss of anyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to point out, but we are with one thing that this article is doing, and our approach here is to convey the gravity of what is happening out there, especially living in isolation. You may not really see what's happening out there, and that yeah, there are trucks with like giant refrigerators behind them pulling up to hospitals in New York City, and they're just putting bodies in there. It's the apocalypse light. It's very real. All right, so that is win.gg.
Mhm.
So we're gonna start a little somber, and then we're gonna crank things up with wee. So this is win.gg, fans honor TF2 search for voice actor after death from COVID-19. Rest in peace, Rick May.
Mhm.
All right, see, we're moving on to more lighter subjects here, Jack. This is from BBC.com. This is one that I picked. And this is an article by Kate Spicer. And it's in the category of culture and quarantine, which is very cool. And it is how gaming became a form of meditation. I really, really dig this article.
To
And
son of a.
huh?
No,
What?
no, no, no. Nothing, 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 nothing.
Okay. Yeah, and the article just goes through really a comparison on how gaming, and we're seeing this more and more and more, gaming is like like a term that I've been throwing around a lot is positive forms of escapism, right? You know, we mentioned this in a previous podcast, but the context and the content and how they're kind of different, right? Where you can play
Mm-hmm.
a game like, I'm not gonna say Call of Duty, even though I just did. You could
Republic,
play, you could play a first-person shooter for the right reasons, right? It could be a
Halo.
form of you to relax, and even if you're, you know, killing things in the game, your mind is going through an introspective, you know, relaxation, release kind of process. I do that often with Diablo, the latest Diablo. What I'll do is I'll put on an audiobook and I'll just spend an hour almost like in a meditative trance just going through levels and grinding, and I'm in the game, but I'm not really in the game. I'm more in my mind listening to the audiobook and things like that. I wanted to highlight this article. Kate gives some really good examples on why gaming can be looked at as a meditative process. Uh, your thoughts on this, Jack?
Um, we told you so several times, but you don't want to listen. No,
Me?
no, no,
What?
no, 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 no. I'm just no. It was so. This article is made from the BBC, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like kind of interesting. Like I said, Empire podcast. A lot of these new organizations have to turn like a serious eye into the world of gaming because that is one of the only like real things left to do. And because of that, they're really seeing all of the benefits now, and they don't really have to see gaming through a political view.
BBC is awesome, man. They're
Yes,
one of the
most of the
best.
articles are. It's just that I do remember like I think they were the only ones that were defending like in the mainstream media. Either like defending us to a like, but only to a degree.
Hmm. Okay.
So I mean, but other than that, this article just like brings up topics like like how you play music. I'm playing a game. You, at first, it may be rude to the other people who's playing with you
Mm-hmm.
on this game, but if you're if they're your friends, then they'll be accustomed to it. Or if it's just some randoms, they'll be like, okay, no, I'm I have no opinion. It's gonna boost my gameplay anyway, so a new experience. And so it's like I say like meditation more of like that, like experiences from each game, not really like meditation.
Hmm.
You're finding peace in yourself.
One thing that I didn't mention, and I just wanted to give you kind of a highlight first, and then have Jack go into the game and then drill down a little bit further. The article also goes or names a term that I haven't heard before, and it's slow calm gaming. I That's very very cool, and it's a way to play a game with a different mindset. For example, in games like Assassin's Creed, there are cats you can pet. Um, like Stardew Valley, farming, of course,
Oh,
the game of the year for me, which I'm not playing, but I'm watching my wife play, is Animal Crossing. Where it's just this like when you log in, like all your stress just kind of just melts away. You're like, oh wow, look at this island. It's beautiful. You're just
I,
taking care of your garden. Just this slow way of actually, it's really interesting in contrast to games done quick, where you're trying to find exploits and things
yeah,
like that to finish levels as fast as possible, like a race. In this, you're looking at environmental factors. You're going into a room that you really wouldn't normally go into, right? You just kind of run past that town and kind of stopping and observing things, because that's what meditation really is, right? Meditation, or the main benefits for meditation. And this is coming from someone that meditates every day. What meditation does is it allows you to pause, right? So like when something's coming at you, you can kind of stop, and rather than just react with your reptilian brain, you can kind of stop, and like you have all these options in that fraction of a second that show up in front of you, and you can select one of the best possible options, not just that one that you would automatically select. So yeah, I'm going to be trying to look at games in this kind of a filter as a way to really just explore, like just walk into the forest and kind of just check stuff out, like, wow, that's cool, look at that river there, whereas rather than just jumping through the river and going and trying to kill the boss or something like that.
Yeah, and I say the reason I say the 2008 2010, between those years, you will see more of that in common. You will gain a resurgence of that with games like Greedfall and Cyberpunk 2077 coming out. But if you really want to experience that, I remember fond memories of just being in awe of Fallout 3, or another good one that I would consider is Borderlands, either version. Just
Borderlands is a meditative game?
No, but the transitions.
Oh, okay.
If you stay within 3 seconds between the transition point from the starting area to the second area, it's kind of neat how they did it. Because it starts off from ice and then became a desert. But yeah.
I see, in terms of environmental stuff.
Yeah.
Because Borderlands is like hyper-violence.
No.
Made manifest.
But going off of how you said meditation could be in any form.
Yeah. Absolutely, where you could ignore all the Mad Max scavengers and just go chill in the desert.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That is bbcs.com, How Gaming Became a Form of Meditation, which I believe is my favorite article today. Next one up, another really cool one that we dug out, and this is Heal Pocket Edition, is a heartfelt adventure game that delves into the realities of dementia. Now, did you look at this trailer?
Yes.
Now, so when I first saw this article come up, I saw the title. Oh, I'm sorry. And this is from the AndroidPolice.com, which I'm not an Android user, so I haven't played it. But I did watch the video and I read the article. And at first, I thought it was going to be more of a feely kind of nice Animal Crossing-esque kind of feeling game. This guy makes really dark stuff, man. Really. So this is Jesse McConan, and what Heal does is, literally delves into the realities of dementia and what it must be like to have dementia, or to, how should I say, have a condition like dementia and have it get worse and worse over time, right? There's actually an artist that did something very similar called The Caretaker. You guys should check that out. It's like elevator music, but like elevator music for hell. It's very, very, very scary, like music. And it starts off with more an orchestral kind of, almost like if you imagine like orchestral music from like the 20s, like, with the like an elevator music from the 20s, but then eventually when it gets to like track 18, 17, or 17, 18, the music begins to fall apart. So you're getting less and less cohesion in the tracks. It's really, really scary. So I watched the trailer. It looks really, really cool. It's a gloomy, puzzle-filled world that you piece together a tale that's primarily told through the atmosphere instead of text. Love games that always do that. That means Heal is something of an experimental release that offers a heartwarming story that's primarily revealed through gameplay, and that's always a good formula to follow. Your thoughts on this, sir?
Okay, I read the article too,
Mm-hmm.
and then I proceeded to watch the video.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, I love like going into like the absurdness of the internet, so like fandoms talking about secret societies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I got in those same vibes like watching the trailer,
Yeah, actually. Yeah, right?
and it's like, I mean, though the core root is about dementia and stuff like that, you get a feeling that this buyer did something very bad, or at least was a part of trying to stop something, or like but he forgotten obviously about it. And so the amount of like clues and puzzles because I play somewhat of the also clips of the game, somewhat on YouTube too.
Mm-hmm.
And the story is basically about this one guy. And it's not really about his family or his friends, but his actions. And it's like so like the next level. You're not only having to deal with this condition, but also have to deal with your actions being forgotten. Not just
Wow.
you, but by everyone around you.
Wow.
Because you can't even see that you were stale because you don't even know you were stale.
Heavy.
But
Heavy.
I mean, I'm sure to play it to see like what exactly the story may actually be. I have my own theories about it, and I could see like inspirations from like several other like people like SCP Foundation and Call of Cthulhu comes into mind very quickly, judging by the puzzles. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely has a creepy pasta kind of aesthetic to the game when you're playing it, right?
Well, not really like Slenderman creepypasta, more like how I said SCP Call of Cthulhu creepypasta. Well, it's an actual game, and you could actually win, but the winning of it is could be not the story you wanted.
Are you
I
saying
think.
creepy pasta isn't real?
No, no, no. I'm saying like, there's two different versions of a
No, I'm kidding.
creepypasta game. There's the
Yes.
Slenderman-esque, where they could kill you automatically,
Yeah.
even if you follow the bloody story. Ho ho ho, Slenderman. And then there was games like SCP Foundation
Mm-hmm.
or the Call of Cthulhu. Basically, games where you follow the story, but at the end of the road, it may not be the story, the ending you wanted.
Because let me inform you, on a late night gaming session driving home about 1 o'clock in the morning, I went to 7-Eleven to buy some ice cream. Don't ask me, don't judge me, that's what I do early in the morning sometimes. And I saw the Slender Man buying pork hash. I didn't bother him, he didn't look at me, but yeah. You've heard it here, folks. Slender Man loves pork hash.
Yep, yep, yep. Eating children and eating podcast.
Alright, alright.
Give a podcast.
So that
Should be
is an article by the Android Police, and it is Heal Pocket Edition is a heartfelt gaming adventure game. Is a heartfelt gaming adventure game that delves into the realities of dementia very darkly. All right, next article, and here we go, guys. This is again a shout out.
Wait.
Okay.
Time out. We're doing up, down, up, down, up, down.
In terms of our emotional scale here, right? Yeah, we just went back down, right,
Yeah,
into
yeah,
gloom world.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are again. Whee! So how to play Dungeons and Dragons or any role-playing game really with Roll20, and this is a walkthrough by Tom's Guide, or a how-to by Tom's Guide. I saw this come up. I saw this article come up, and I was like, I really want to talk about Roll20. And no,
No,
so
no,
funny.
no. If that's the case, we're gonna have to talk about Tabletop Simulator next week.
Okay, all right. And Roll20 has been such a game changer for me. If you would have asked me I don't know, 6 months ago, to run a game or to play in a game online, like a tabletop game online, I would have just rolled my eyes at you and say, nope, that's not what we do. We meet up, we roll physical dice, and we use physical maps and things like that. Roll20 has completely shifted that paradigm for me. If you are a dungeon master looking to continue your gaming in quarantine, please look up Roll20, right? If you and honestly, it doesn't even have to be playing game. I mean, you certainly could, right? But I mean, it's a great presentation tool. It's free. You can pay, I think it's $5 a month to support them and what they're doing. They are scaling very, very quickly because everyone now is using this tool.
Not
And
just, but if you have a different RPG system in mind, like Edge of the Empire, Call of Cthulhu, those games can be still played on here very effectively as well.
Yep.
Probably more effectively.
So I teach a game design class, and as part of our class during this quarantine, we are using Roll20 to play Dungeons and Dragons, and we're gonna start looking at using Roll20 and Tabletop Simulator for that.
Or
For that thing, right? And to continue game design, to continue our class in isolation in this quarantine. So yeah, I just really wanted to just mention Roll20 and how cool it is and how great it is and the service that they add and the tool set that they give to gamers in isolation. Your thoughts?
Okay, if you're going to use this, like, full disclosure, have patience. Or at least have some sort of thing to like stand by, so like it's a way to pay on your phone, because the server, as we say, is getting a lot of people at this moment. Even right now, as we're recording this, they're probably getting overdue and overpacked by so many people. It's when we say it's they're expanding operations because of this virus. They're all trying to do their best.
Exactly.
So, in order to do so, the community in all sectors has been accommodating to that. There are indie game developers to play in perspective. And they've not been tasked with a AAA game developer.
Yes.
So, let's not go full pitchforks anytime soon. They're gonna make mistakes. They're gonna be lag, and there's gonna be some server issues. But overall, the game and the server will still be running at full potential. And all of the things are free for you to use, except for the description that only has like some extra details.
Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that, Jack. So for $5 a month, you get lighting effects and you get access to more assets that you can drag into the game. What I mean by assets is like tokens, maps, things like that are made from the community. And then you get more space to import your own. So I think it's like you start with like 5 gigs or something like that, and then if you pay $5 a month, it goes up to like 10 gigs or something like that.
Well, keep in mind, 5 gigs is a lot. You could have like a 10-minute video with that amount of data. So for presentation wise, but for D&D, RPG, or gaming wise, the amount is endless.
But for the free version, you pretty much get everything. Everything you need to get running is there, including like fog of war effects, and I mean, there's a whole bunch of other tools. It's all in this article. Yeah, so that is tomsguide.com, how to play role-playing games. Well, it's how to play D&D, but really it's how to play any role-playing game online with your friends in isolation with Roll20. All right,
Roll20. We're not sponsored, but we should be.
Sure. All right, next article. We're going to keep that yay feeling, right? That Adventure Time, good feely feeling, moving with this next article. And this is Orange
I'm
Island,
done.
Jack!
I'm
It's
done.
like, did you not look at this? All right.
I didn't before.
ReadRetro.com, ladies and gentlemen. Orange Island is an upcoming platform RPG for NES funded through Kickstarter. Has seen some good progress lately, and this is a game created by Ted Searchy. This, I don't know. So, I went to their site. I love the aesthetics on this game, man. It's like a classic NES game. Orange Island is a charming 8-bit adventure game exploring a pastel-hued island while uncovering mysteries of the past. Oh, this is just my jam, bro. This is so. Yeah, the other thing to there's no loot boxes, no microtransaction, none of that. Just a really cool open world 8-bit. But so if you want to see it, the game jack is on orangeisland.com. You got some screenshots and stuff there, what the game looks like. I don't know how the game runs. I listened to the soundtrack by it, and man, I was like tearing up. Just these really good like polyphonic, like synth sounds. Can you hear that?
No, I can't.
Can you hear that? Probably not. Probably not. Right, but I can hear it.
Me on this, so I go hear it.
Okay, sorry. This is a serious news show.
Serious show?
Your
what
thoughts,
are you talking
your thoughts on this game, Orange Island?
Okay, no joke. The first time I saw this article, I went automatically shut it down, thinking this was a joke article. And you only provided because ha, this is a good joke, a late April Fool's joke.
Uh-huh.
But then I decided to check it out again. Shut the article off again because of the art style. Oh my god, no!
It's awesome, dude! It's so cool, no? Alright, sorry.
I have like a huge disconnect. It's just the art style reminds me of a couple TV shows my sisters made me watch when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the youngest. I have 6 sisters. Yeah, not that fun of a boyhood. But it's weird, and I see this audience, and I see the love and passion for it. So, and I honestly hope that there could be more like games that go back to older systems. This one focusing on NES, Dreamcast, or the original PlayStation or Xbox. Stuff like that. If more game developers go back to, it will become more and more not only profitable but more of like a creative trait, and you're setting yourself out of the pale. While everybody else is focusing on the newest tech, you could be going back to the older tech. So yeah.
So cool. I'm just reading through the other stuff with this game. That's the thing with retro is when you don't do retro for retro's sake. Like, should I say this? Yeah, I'll go ahead and say this. This is gonna. I'm gonna get a lot of pies thrown at me. I like Stranger Things first season. After the first season, to me, it was just retro for being kind of retro. And I understand a lot of people want to celebrate and step back into the world. That's cool, but it lost me after the first season.
Well, now you could do so from World 20.
Yeah, right. But yeah, this developer is really adding something fresh and new to something that is like to retro, right? Returning back to games of yesteryear, but at the same time adding something new to it, right? Like mom's home cooking, but you're adding a little bit of spice to it.
And other than the entire concept of the game reminded me of something I really wish I did wanted to, I really want to play this game if I have a blindfold on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just not your jam in terms of the theme, right?
No, there's a reason why I pick Halo and not this game.
Gotcha. But this is yeah. So I mean that's great. We're getting two different point of views, which is fantastic. We have a diverse audience as well. Whereas like this is my jam completely, man. Yeah. Okay, so that is Orange Island, Ted Sturchy, birthday boy. I don't know what that means. See, this is so weird. It's just so out there. I love it. But I mean, there's one more thing to mention before we jump off this article is gaming. Gaming is a diverse landscape, right? Like we shouldn't be pigeonholed into all these type of games or just all games like this, right? There's enough room for games for everyone's interests in this medium.
Okay, right. Time to break it back down.
Okay.
No.
This is Ted Searchy's. This is Orange Game. Well, the original article was by Retro, which I've never heard of. Readretro.com. I'm going to look more into what they do there. What's that?
I think this is their first game, to be honest.
Oh no! You're talking about the company or the site?
No, the company that made the game.
Yeah. This is definitely, I think, their first game. But the article is on readretro.com, and it is Orange Island. If you want to read more about the game itself, which you should, and throw lots of money at them, is at orangeisland.com. All right.
Support indie game developers.
Hands down. Exactly. Okay, next one.
You may not have a preference for it. Just keep supporting.
Yep. Next one is... with coronavirus closing schools, here's how video games are helping teachers, and this is by the Washington Post. Let me jump in on a couple of things first, and then let me pass this back to you. So there is some really cool stuff in here, man, and let me just draw the microscope or the spotlight to one part of this very long, well-written article.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed. Cool game. Again, not really my thing. I admire the level of detail that went into the game. I'm just a horrible stealth gamer. Like, I end up knocking over everything, getting caught over and over again. I just can't play stealth games. What they've done with Assassin's Creed, for example, is teach history. So let me go into this further. For example, let's see here, where was that? So instead of a physical trip to Greece, Peliquin proposed, what if his students could digitally tour Greece, or even better, explore it as if it was thousands of years ago? He first weighted the potential of virtual reality, but soon pivoted towards a game. Alongside its action-packed fictional storyline, Assassin's Creed Odyssey includes a robust educational mode and research-based recreation around ancient Greece. Peliquin students will play individually in the coming weeks from their homes and use that as a foundation for reports. This is why we exist, Jack. This is exactly what we're talking about. Using games, you want to see what happened in Waterloo? Log into the game, experience what it was like to be there at that time. Oh my God.
So a lot of I'm a big history buff, and I kind of feel like it's kind of cliche of me saying this now. Our perspective, but no.
Did you say the S word?
Cliche.
Ah, you said cliche. I'm sorry. I heard something else. Sorry.
I could say it now. If
please continue, sir.
Okay, but a lot of my generation of the historians has been inspired by video games. For me and another well-known YouTuber that I watch, it has to be Assassin's Creed, not Odyssey, not any of the newer versions, but Assassin's Creed 3 and Black Flag. talking about the pirates and also the American Revolution, and how even though it seemed unlikely, it sparked curiosity for us to continue exploring. And so, but it also brings up a, a good point about how social media also has been taking about history. A lot of people has been like, oh, if it's talking about war, it's not history, or it shouldn't be discussed because it's too violent and brutal. But in all actuality, if we do not focus on such topics like war or blood, we would not understand history. Because a lot of the economics and stuff like that, even once I gotten out of that whole Assassin's Creed phase and gotten into more historical depth, and this is all from a game, okay? This is all started from Assassin's Creed. I became more entrenched in history.
Wow.
Same thing could be said with other games like Minecraft, Titanfall. Titanfall, for example, has nothing to do with anything to do with actual science, yeah? But the engineering and schematics of a Titan is still open for everybody to see. So they could, as an engineering class, you could actually see all the gears and mechanisms of a Titan and see if you could build it on your own. Same with Warhammer, but this time with genetics. Different games offer different educational fields to different opportunities if you look in the correct way. I think the best one out of all games to do so, and I still have to say, is Halo. Because they continue to offer, even the newer ones, offer custom games that could range from zombie apocalypse, zombies being about how infections could spread like a pandemic, or to racing. So that means the mechanics of a car or a Roadhog and how it could flip. How is that possible? And then also, even to the basic combats of like shooting, the trajectory of a plasma versus a bullet is different, and you have to scale it to it by having a map. My guy is 30 feet from the flag, but elite is 5 feet above. I need to arc my gun up because I have an assault rifle. The assault rifle projects bullets down. But all of this is under 5 seconds. So, games are varied teaching methods. I wish though in the article, they tackle on several topics that the schools cannot use games for. For example, you can't have games to make a commencement ceremony, so there is a restraint to them. Unless you're gonna do it VR. But yeah.
Wow. Man, that just sparked so many different ideas in that, 3-minute whatever PSA that you just did. But you're absolutely right. Oftentimes, as educators, we look at education-based games to show kids, students, within that context that'll try to spark or ignite interest, right? When really you could use any type of game, even Fortnite, right? You could even use things like Fortnite to play, and then to, like, what is it about building? What is it about teamwork? What is it about strategy? What is it about resource? All these different things. And again, like we mentioned time and time again, the whole content versus context, right? It's not just about what you're playing. It's the why. It's the context. It's why are you playing it? What is the lens that you're looking through?
And going back to Assassin's Creed, yeah, you could also do it for history, but you could do it for exploration as a naturalist or archaeologicalist.
Oh, man, dude.
Because these games has to delve into those things. Or business orientation, the rights of a business. Because in the modern times, in the Assassin's Creed universe, the the Templars are using a video game company as a basically
Right.
see.
Yeah.
That could be teaching about business ethics
Sure.
and the potential. So
I gotta lay
I
down.
really, I really hope this article just be like that pillow to expand, like keep on expanding, like how we saw with other articles. Like from the research paper for Mario started thanks to this outbreak, unfortunately, caused us to probably gain more and more prestige to a point where we may get to have that same prestige as Poland sooner or later.
Wow.
And no matter what you say about this virus or the theories we may have, I always get reminded about this one quote. Great tragedy presents great change. So, yeah.
All
Take
right.
it well.
Okay. Whew. Wow, that was. Yeah, there's my brain is just firing in so many different directions right now. A lot of ideas are just came up in that last
You
few
better not
minutes.
say any of them, or else I'm gonna have to swear
Why?
several
Why?
times.
Why? Why? Oh, why?
I'm not gonna fight over 1,000 game modes to get them ideas.
Oh, you mean because they're gonna take the ideas? Is that what you're insinuating on?
This is a live podcast. I'm saying
All right, all right, all right, all right.
once it's out there, it's out there. You know.
Okay. That is from the WashingtonPost.com, and the article is with coronavirus closing schools. Here's how video games are helping teachers.
It's me from the Washington Post. May I remind people, they were one of the guys who was advocating games not to be not to be good.
That isn't completely true.
Oh, okay, but
They are a newspaper agency, and as a newspaper agency, they should not just say a thing is good, right? They're just they should.
no, but you gotta have to say that they did, they did share more beliefs with the WHO, the World Health Organization, when they forced the care of gaming
Yes.
disease. Can we agree on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But the reason is because data supported it. So they're unlike most other news organizations that are not data driven.
But there was also data to support the contrary.
No,
They
right.
could have- yeah.
That's the point I'm making, is that they're just not on one side. They're gonna show you. They're gonna say something, and then they're gonna say the other side also. So they're not just completely. They weren't completely knocking on gaming,
Well,
as other sites too.
right. Next article.
All right. I think he just doesn't like the Washington Post, guys.
No, it's not that. Okay, even Fox, like the first time I
my
got into the
gosh. Did
media,
you just say? I'm just gonna have to
I-
beep that out.
no, like all of these news organizations I kind of just hate. I'm part of digital media, and I'm like, I see a lot of their tactics, and I just hate them. Just a tad. You okay?
Yes. Okay. Next article. I'm sorry. We I try to steer as much from politics away as possible, and shine the light on just indie development. I don't want to go too deep into
Yes.
sides of
Yes,
political
yes.
movements, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
let's just keep it on topic. Okay.
So-
Next article. Sony announces a $10 million fund to help indie game developers impacted by COVID-19. Whoa! By Yahoo.com. What is happening here? Let's take a closer look. Today, Sony announced that they had earmarked $10 million for a fund dedicating to help indie developers that have seen negative impacts from a pandemic crisis. Earlier this month, Sony announced that they had formed a $100 million fund dedicated to COVID-19 relief, though the fund was more explicitly focused on healthcare workers and remote education. Wow. And there's more details to come. We don't really know how to apply and things like that, or how to try to get the money, but they publicly made an announcement about it. And the other thing too is the titles will be available for free between a certain period. Your thoughts on this? Is this real? No, I know. It's like
No, but it's. I'm happy that they're doing this, like talking about this whole ideals of honor and stuff like that. That the gamers will protect their own. Like these big companies, even though they did a lot of bad, will still help gaming in a whole. I do have to say though, if Sony have done this before pandemic, they would have made a lot more PR.
okay, but I mean,
No, but
yeah, sure.
Well, imagine if they keep this program. Like the amount of game developers they will be bringing in, not just from Xbox, but from like PC and Nintendo, could be great. So this could be a potential another way because it's on Yahoo Live. It could be another way of seeing it as a potential financial way of testing a new program that they're planning on doing. That's one way of seeing it. Another way of seeing it is that this big company has a heart, which is real, I have to admit, but well, it's made up of
So
humans.
negative.
It's made up
Of course,
human.
of course, giant corporations, that were founded in 1946. Of course, giant corporations have hearts and care. Of course, Jack. Come on. What are you talking about? I know the next thing he's gonna say is like EA is like evil or something. Come on.
As I'm smoking my EA hate. Oh, no. But going back to the article, as long as the program itself doesn't get like overwhelmed with non-game developers, or it's easy and ready for actual game developers to be using this fund, I don't see any negatives to it. Even if it's an experimental program that they're using, worst comes to worst, because this is a lot of bloody money.
Yeah. Here's my 2 cents on it. Number one, Sony doesn't need to do this, right? It's a lot of money, and regardless if it's like a tax shelter or whatever, like there's other ways to do this. Sony doesn't need to do that,
Right.
And number two, that's a lot of money, man. Right? That's a lot of money to be putting up, and then just to support that, one thing, excuse me.
So I'm patting your back.
Right. One really good thing about times of crisis is when you see companies that wouldn't normally do stuff like this, right? Try to get more masks and things like that into the communities. Like you're really beginning to see these companies step up and know that they have capital to give out and then give it out. I mean, whether it's EA, Sony, whoever, right? Like they're stepping up and doing things that help, and they don't have to.
I do have to say though, we actually responded faster than any other industry to this.
We, as in gaming.
Yeah, game.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
No, because like a lot of other industries had only adjusted when the government adjusted. I mean, like healthcare industry, even though they're on the front lines, if they were taking more steps in between, they could have been a little bit more prepared. That is a somewhat of a statement. No, governments and healthcare workers, I can't even think right now. Basically,
because we're talking about something non-gaming related,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Remember what we just said a few minutes ago?
Yes. Why do I have to go over these rants?
I don't know. I don't
No.
know. I have no idea. Is there
No.
anything else you would like to add to Sony giving $10 million away for indie gaming? Nope.
No.
That is on Yahoo Life, yahoo.com. Sony announces $10 million fund to help indie game developers impacted by COVID-19. Okay, next article. This is another one of Jack's picks. This is a game where this is a cute girlfriend game.
No, this is Mr. V giving me hints, but I'm
No, this
accepting
game is
it.
awesome. Okay, hold on, stop. We gotta say what it is. All right, this is indiegamesplus.com, site I love to frequent, and this is Stay Home is a game of staying happy and healthy in quarantine. Okay. Let me read a little bit of it. Okay. Having someone else to take care of can help you keep your mind busy when things are difficult, and Stay Home aims to give you just that. A cute girlfriend is stuck in a dorm during the current viral outbreak, and you're in charge of keeping their health, hunger, and mood in a balanced state. To do this, you choose which activities she partakes in, attempting to juggle her 3 states so that none of them bottoms out while you're trying to care for the others. She's a bit anxious as well, so some things might surprise you with how they affect her. Do keep an eye on her. It's kind of creepy, actually. Now that I'm like reading it out loud, you're like,
This is the
like, look at the surveillance camera. Play games, order food. Yeah. This is another very cool game that I like because number one, it's a pay for whatever you like game on itch.io, and it shows on the margins of game design things that you can create, right? Like this game is dealing with issues that obviously somebody's dealing with, and they're expressing themselves by creating a game about it. And that's really what we're all about, right? Trying to get people to make games about things like this. Is this a game that I would play? Probably not. I mean, actually, no, take that back. I would probably try it out, right? But I'm happy that games like this exist, and that's why I included this article to show people, like, yeah, there's games like this too. Your thoughts, sir?
Honestly, it's a very nice game. I may actually try it.
Wow.
No, because games like this do, even though the presentation may not, or the wording of it may not sound like exactly to point, it does provide, like how we mentioned earlier, meditation, comfort, and also just new ways of understanding what's going on. Like how we mentioned about Rick Fails, rest in peace. Just all of these aspects are encapsulated in this game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get the hint, Mr. V, as I'm a single man. Beep you.
What? Okay, sure. Yeah, very, very cool. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go download this and try this out. Very cool. This is so the article on IndieGame.plus. Stay Home is a game of staying happy and healthy in quarantine. All right, we have got to our final article.
Okay.
All right, and this is from underscoopfire.com. This is something that I wanted to talk about for some time now on quote-unquote air. And this is how machine learning will be used in game development. And right off the bat, the article gives a very good description of what machine learning is. For those who don't already know what machine learning is the ability of a machine without explicit programming to learn and develop from experience. That's really all it is. Machine learning is often more general referred to AI, but is actually a branch of artificial intelligence technologies. And I am a strong believer that we're going to see more and more and more machine learning based game development. And this article does a really good job of highlighting through these bullet points how it's possible and some of the benefits of applying machine learning, which isn't really a simple thing. There is models and things that you can adopt to incorporate into your game. But yeah, and it's something that's not new. It's been around for a while. I've been a huge fan. So in a previous life, previous life, that much lifetimes ago, I did research in artificial intelligence, and this is back in the day. I'm talking maybe mid to late 90s, really, where this is really my jam. I was a fan of Marvin Minsky and that whole MIT movement. So I'm a big believer in artificial intelligence, and of course, like every technology, there can be a darker side to it as well. But I am optimistic and hopeful. And irregardless, machine learning is something that's been used in video games for some time now, especially with AI, right? I'm gonna make Jack very, very happy here. Halo, from way back in the day. Halo, from even back in the day, and the developers used the AI enemies, man, how they would hide and creep around your shields, and just how they would adapt to how you would play as a fine example of machine learning, right? Like, based on your behavior as a player, how the game, or is more specifically, how enemies would adapt to your strategy. Your thoughts on machine learning?
Two things. And they're both not going to be as advanced, so you don't have to skip this part. Is that the first thing is that this whole idea of machine learning will going to be replacing everything to do with gaming. It's not. Including video games. It's not going to replace everything. Some games will be don't want to include machine learning because it fits into their art direction, or it fits into the gameplay mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you do not need complex maneuvers if you're doing a 3D puzzle scroller, you know? So it ain't going to replace it. It's just going to continue to expand the gaming scope of it.
Yep.
That's what we're trying to pin down, and that's what this article is trying to pin down. We're not trying to split the gaming community whatsoever, because machine learning can possess viable opportunities even to ball gaming, such as pre-testing and stuff like that. It will be less taxing, but will also require more in-depth research into other variables. Stuff like that will expand the canvas that the game developers are already making art on. It could only just be a benefit, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is that advanced techniques of the enemy AI and stuff like that, it has been seen as like a downgrade over these years in the AAA in the AAA scene, but I've seen for indies as a plus, as like a major aspect to their games. Like Greedfall, for example, even though it's a less well-known game, it was still seen as like one of those games that had pretty dang good artificial intelligence. But at Fallout 76 had guys doing a T-pose for a living.
Yeah.
So, as much as if you don't focus on artificial intelligence or machine learning, whatever you may call it, use it as your own peril. Because if your game doesn't want to do that, that's cool. If you're a AAA game developer, like Battlefront 2, for instance, and requires competent AI for both multiplayer and campaign, and it's not that, then of course you're gonna get hate for it.
Yeah.
Different, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And no politics. I want to also apologize if I offended any of you viewers. So yeah,
Whoa.
I'm not big enough of a man to say that I made a mistake.
All right. So that was our final article by underscoopfire.com. Machine learning will be used in game development. All right. That's our show. We have one more thing to do, and that is to answer. So we just picked one question.
Question to
for
you.
this episode. Okay. Now the question is by. Well, let's begin with how they can reach us, Jack.
Okay, you could reach us by Gmail us by www.cia.gov.gmail.com. No. It's the ball state at gmail.com or the ball state or theorycrafters at gmail.com. You can also do
not theorycrafters at gmail.com. That account doesn't exist. Sorry. That is the boardstate at gmail.com. Contact us the boardstate at gmail.com. The website is theorycrafters.com, but there's no theorycrafters at gmail. There's theorycraftersgames at gmail.com, but it's just
theorycrafters games, and that's how you could support us financially by allowing us to sell games to you.
Yes.
Another way by communication is by comments on our either YouTube or the main podcast channel. I'm not too sure where you're supposed to be doing it, but go kick on it, post a comment over there, we will see it. Unless Mr. V deletes your account, because sometimes that's happened.
Whoa, I don't know what. Okay, all right. Let's reel this back on again. So the question we have is outside of. So this is by Heimhem. Outside of gaming, what other hobbies do you obsess over? We'll start with Jack on this one. Very good question, by the way.
Yes. History. I love history books. I'm a big Star Wars fanatic. Military, of course. If you haven't caught on to all this podcast, welcome to the show. Politics, economics, all of the things that Jeff hates, basically. I'm an expert at, and I love with a passion.
Star Wars, military, politics. Yeah, I guess so. Well, not
economics.
No, I love economics. I love economics. That's my favorite gaming genre. I love economic simulators. That's my jam.
Music with my family. Yeah, that's a big core element of me, and also like keeping like good friends like Mr. V and others still alive. That's a hobby I love to do.
Wow, interesting hobby.
And playing airsoft. So yeah.
All right, for me, there's so much other stuff. I'm a very obsessive person. But outside of gaming, music definitely, reading definitely, and programming. That is my outside of gaming, my life's passion is programming. It's what I do outside of game design for work. I work at Toshiba. Yeah. That's pretty much the film too. So like film, music, programming, reading, outside of gaming. Yeah, that does it. Not Star Wars.
Well, okay, I kind of forgot. Yeah, film.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, like, if you listen to the podcast, it's kind of obvious.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's a really cool question. Thank you, Haimem. And we've been getting questions, man. Yeah. Maybe we should do a separate episode where we just go through questions.
Well, do you want to do one more today or no?
No, we're so that's gonna do it, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Catch you next week.